Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to Manic Media Dream. This is our final video for the Halloween month. Oh my god, this Vaseline is making me look like a hooker. So today is a video that wraps up the Halloween 2 videos a week experience, and what I wanted to do for that, because it is going to be Halloween tomorrow, it gives you great time to prepare, because this video is about one of the scariest movies I have seen in recent times. So if you're planning a Halloween party or you're having some people over and you just want to watch a movie with some close friends, I would recommend that you put on this hidden gem of a movie. The movie that we are talking about today is called House LLC. This movie does not get enough credit to its name. It is actually so fantastic. It's better than like half the things that are in theaters right now. I mean, y'all already know how I feel about Halloween Ends. Disgusting movie. But House LLC was like this low budget horror movie that came out way back in 2015. One thing that I have noticed about the Hell House franchise is like nobody really talks about it, but like you'll find it in a lot of like popular TikTok or like viral TikTok posts where they're gonna incorrectly attribute the clips from that movie to like videos that they find on the dark web because of how like creepy it is. So it's not by any means like a gory franchise, or isn't just like blood spurting out in the Hell House movies, sort of like there is with the Terrifier franchise. But the good thing about Hell House is it's more psychological horror than anything else. It's sort of like this generation's version of the Blair Witch Project. It's a 90s classic about, I believe, a bunch of university students who go into the forest looking for this creature called the Blair Witch that everybody in town like talks about, and then like weird stuff starts to happen and then things just get out of control. And the way that it's filmed is very documentary style, so that it has that, you know, reality aspect to it, and it's a pretty convincing movie. Like, it's a good movie. Hell House sort of did the same thing, except it brought it a lot closer to home, where you didn't really need to be in the woods to get the crap literally shoveled out of you because of how freaky things are. It's recommended to watch it on Tubi. And I think at the time I was just working out, like I was working on my triceps, and I was like, okay, cool, like let's check out this movie. And at the first I'm just like, oh, this is just like another one of those like found footage horror movies like the Blair Witch. But the more that I continue to watch it, there's some like iconic like horror movie characters in there. Like, I don't even know if they sell Hell House costumes, but they totally should. Like, there's this clown in that movie that's just like so creepy for no reason. And the storyline is great, and the scares are psychological. So like I said before, there's no gore in this movie, but it's just like a psychologically effed movie. Like, I was literally thinking about it while I was asleep. I haven't been like this stirred by a horror movie in a long time. So like I'm also sort of fresh in that sense. Like, horror has become so stagnant, I feel. Like, people go to watch horror movies because they're like, oh, how ridiculous. Oh, I would never make that mistake. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You know, but we don't really have like Exorcist-style horror movies that sort of really make you question, like, hey, if I go to sleep, am I gonna wake up possessed? Or if I go to sleep, is somebody gonna like break into my room and completely F me up? Even because sometimes like horror movies are just campy. So with Hell House, at least the first one, like, yes, there are sequels, but the first Hell House was very unique. It was like lightning in a bottle. And I know there's all these movies like Barbarian and Smile that are out right now. If you genuinely want to be like creeped out, just turn off all the lights, put on Hell House at like 2 in the morning, and just enjoy the ride. And definitely don't go into it with as high expectations as I was setting right now, because I went into it like expecting the worst, and I was genuinely shook. I was like, why is this movie so good? For those of you who want to know, Hell House is about a documentary style crew that is involved in the business of setting up these seasonal Halloween haunts. So they'll like get a house and they'll dress it up, and then, you know, people will pay money to like go through like the scary maze that they have set up in the house. So it's about like, you know, a crew that sort of does this, and they're filming it, and this one house where they're setting things up, stuff gets a little out of control. It's a good amalgamation of like Paranormal Activity and the Blair Witch Project. And they did it so well with no money. And that's another point where I'm like, this is why you should watch this movie. A lot of the movies that we watch today that have done well or still have a following were low budget horror movies from back in the day. And people are still watching those over like remakes or anything like that because there's just that strong of a following. There's something so authentic about a low budget horror movie where they're using practical effects, where they're, you know, really honing in on their creativity, where it's like a tightly written story because you just don't have the room or the financial resources to mess around and completely ruin your mythology, right? So with Hell House, that's exactly what happened. It gives off these Halloween 1978 vibes or Friday the 13th 1980, I think, vibes, or, you know, all these like old horror movies that had like no budget but did so well in sort of like really grounding themselves into your psyche because of how creative they were, how spooky they were, how creepy they were, how scary they were, how different they were. Hell House is definitely one of those movies. It just needs to be marketed better, to be completely honest. Like, if it wasn't for Tubi, I would not even know this movie existed. And the cover is okay, but it's not like, you know, I'm not like, oh my god, like, I really want to know what happens. Like, oh, we have a picture and people's faces are getting messed up. Whatever. Like, that's been done before. Make sure for your Halloween party, you check out Hell House. Honest to goodness. Another aspect that I really like about this movie is that there is a mystery that you're sort of trying to solve, where they distribute clues very evenly throughout the movie, where you're just like, oh, okay, like this is what's going on. They'll sort of very slowly pull you into the lore. And I love it when you have these horror movies that sort of expect you to figure out what's going on, as opposed to like, oh, there's just this like tank of a human being that's like out to kill me. I just have to like run around in circles until he reaches me. Hell House isn't really like that. I think even some of the choices that the characters make are somewhat reasonable. Afterwards, it does get a bit ridiculous. Like, I think in a horror movie, it's just sort of expected at this point for people to be making the stupidest decisions possible. Like, oh, if I hear one thing move in my house, or if one thing is misplaced in my house and I'm like, oh, I did not put it there and there's nobody else here to put it there, like, goodbye. I'm going on vacation. Like, you won't see me for like 30 days. I'll be back once The Exorcist is like done with my place of residence. But with Hell House, you know, they definitely take some liberties where characters make questionable decisions, but at no point does it get frustrating, which I really like. A lot of the new movies, I feel like, you know, sometimes you're just like, you know you're gonna get killed. Why are you here? Like, you know it. The killer is standing in front of you, telling you that they're going to kill you, and you're just like, oh, I should really check out the bathroom here, because, like, maybe they have a hot tub. I don't fudging know, like, why people stay in houses. Like, bro, if somebody is in your house, you need to leave. It's their house now. So, as far as a recommendation goes, Hell House is, like, a 12 out of 10. As far as like this year is concerned. So get some folk together, put on that movie on either Tubi or Prime Video, or, and that's just in Canada. I don't know about wherever you guys are located. I mean, there's, you know, bays where pirates dock. That may also have that movie. I don't know. Who said that? Anyway, thank you so much for being on this journey with me. It has been a lot of fun. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like if you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below on what your favorite horror movie is, and if you have seen Hell House or not, and if it freaked you out, or like what were your thoughts in regards to the types of scares that they had in that movie. But don't leave any spoilers, because I think people are going to be watching this video and I don't want to upset them. But yeah, we'll be posting after Halloween, so make sure to come back and see what I'm up to. It was great talking to you, and I hope you enjoyed this movie. Make sure to reach out and let me know if you did, and if there were other people that you watched it with, what the audience reaction was. I love that stuff. All right, everybody, happy Halloween, have a good one, and goodbye.